a lot of people don't factor that in. They don't factor in sweets. They think they're eating the right sugar. Like, oh, it's natural sugar. That is the worst sugar. Okay. Natural raw natural sugar. Okay.
Mm.
Don't put it in your creamer with your sugar. Just use creamer.
Yeah, I
So
think about that. I think sugar is both food can be both a weapon or a tool for the bodybuilder,
yes.
and I try not to eat too much salt. I try to season my food right, like garlic is good for a good seasoner. Pepper is good. I try to stay away with salt as much as I can. And sometimes the foods that you buy, you have to you look at the salt content of it,
Mhm.
because like I said, one thing with me, I have congestive heart failure, and if I have too much food around my heart, it can cause me to fail. But I'm doing pretty good because before my mom passed, I was already at nearly 500 pounds.
Mhm.
And now I'm right, look, other 400, I'm like 390 last time I checked. But
Mhm.
it is tough to make those decisions and
Yeah.
to follow. I mean, especially, like I say, your kids kind of smart kids. They like to eat what you like to eat.
Yeah.
But one thing was when you started into this, what was your family thought on? Like when, hey, I'm going to get into bodybuilding. What was their thoughts?
My family hasn't been to one show ever. My family is originally I am from Philadelphia. So my family is up north conservative Baptist. I am the only person in my family who decided, well, besides my mother, who decided to be Catholic because I went to Catholic school. That's the only reason why. Um, my uncle's a reverend. My grandfather, who is 94, has been a deacon for over 70 years of his life. So for me to be on a stage with half my ass out in a sparkly $1,000 bikini, no, they will
Yeah,
not attend. My mother hasn't even been to one show.
yeah,
I have no. It's like the same thing in my family. I'm the second person. My oldest aunt, she's the middle of everything, younger than my mother. She went into the army. She served in Desert Storm. But she and I are the only two that ever joined the service. Like, so I'm like the outcast person that just is randomly. I'm like, I go do what I want to do with my life versus someone vicariously living their life through me.
yeah. You should live your life as you like to. That's
Yeah,
the thing about you only.
I have tattoos. My older cousin now has a tattoo. Um, but he got it like shortly after I got mine when I was in the service. So they accuse me of being an enabling person that allowed for him to want to get a tattoo. And I'm like, y'all can really kick rocks. Like, I don't care. And they're like, you gonna have your butt out all over. And I'm like, so what is the difference between me having my butt on a stage where I can win something for money versus somebody videotaping my ass on a beach for free? I just would really like to understand the concept
Yeah,
because
'cause- yeah, because one thing, one of my jobs I used to work at. I had quite a few jobs, and one I used to work in the booty club,
yeah,
and those women they're there to make money. Yes, it's entertainment, but also there to make money. And being a competitor is one thing about bodybuilding. It's not a lot of money for you competitors, especially on the
no,
side for your women. And we talk about shows like the Arnold don't have figure anymore to kick that out.
no,
Yeah,
and that's a very big issue amongst me and my friends. We're like gritting our teeth, like seriously,
it's Arnold. He
seriously.
says he don't like muscle women. He kicked out women's bodybuilding about 10 years ago. And he
You
kicked out
didn't take
physique.
away fitness or take away somebody else. Don't take away
Yeah,
us.
fitness is still gonna get that little pass because you got people like most definitely like people like Missy Trescott. You got Asana Gosorio has her say her name, and
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 Ariel is one of my friends because she works out at Destination. I support her anytime she's been in the runnings. But if you want to take something away, take away anything else, not
well,
us.
his thing is that it's about money and what sells, and we all know tits and ass sells, and that's why wellness and bikini are still there.
Yeah,
Those are the tits and ass divisions, TNA divisions. There's more shows for them than is
yeah.
for figure has a little bit more shows. The one division which I'm a fan of and I do support is women's bodybuilding. Last year wasn't so great. It wasn't that many
No, it
weird
wasn't.
competitions
I
for
was very upset with that. Like, it was like I saw the post about Marge made, and I listened to it all, and I was like, for them to just X out women's bodybuilding, I'm just like, wait, why?
well,
Why?
well because they say like because the women would get to a certain level, but the fact is It's like it's the project for athlete. You brought this division physique was supposed to be the replacement, but then you have a lot of women in bodybuilding didn't know where to go. So women quit. So women went to physique, and then because those women who were in physique from bodybuilding with physique, that division evolved. If you look at someone like
It's because certain women are bigger and they're not going to fit into women's physique. Their natural aesthetic is a bigger woman. So when they go make that muscle and then mature it over a couple of years, 2 or 3, depending upon how hard they work at it and what type of off season they do, whether they do like a lean building off season or like a full, I just go off the rails off season. Either way, that mature muscle is going to build them up to be bigger. One of my friends, Mel the Bodyguard, she is dealing with this currently because she was bigger as a bigger, like, I wouldn't say fat, but she was healthy, size. And everybody was always like, oh, how's she going to bring down? Because she recently did a show. She's on the NPC side still. And she does in wellness. And I'm like, look, she can come all the way down. If she wore her extra hair out, though, she would be like me, where she has a back and she has arms and she has shoulders. And I'm like, I'm going to just need you to make the switch, sis. Like, because she's naturally thicker. There is she tried wellness and it is fine. And she tried to not work out her arms, but they're still there. So it's kind of a thing of where you're like, you gotta go ahead and make that move. Like even with me, I was in denial. Even my year in COVID, where I went back to bikini. Initially, when Shane Hughes was coaching me, we had left bikini behind into COVID, and we said we were moving to figure. I had went up to 165 pounds. And then I watched my friend win overall in my suit at North Americans. And I was like, in bikini. And I was like, bring me back my juju and bring me back my fucking suit. Because I need to go get my pro card now. And I literally said that to my friend Christina. I was like, I love you, sis, but no. I said, you were supposed to just go win your pro card. You weren't supposed to have written the whole fucking show. So, needless to say, 8 weeks later was Universe. And so I messaged Shane and I'm like, where's the next GoPro show? Because apparently I have a whole gym being destination wide open. And they're just getting pro cards given to people that don't even, I was like, no. And next thing I knew, he said, Universe is in 8 weeks. I said, okay. He said, you'll know you have to start tomorrow with 45 minutes of cardio immediately. I said, let's kick it. He said, okay, I'll create the meal plan. Give me 24, 48 hours. Because he was still up there in North Americans in Pittsburgh. And he was like, just give me 24, 48 hours. In 8 weeks is what I cut off 20 pounds off of my body. Just to step on stage I was like 165, 163. And then I stepped on stage at 141, 139, I think, the night before.
Yeah.
So
X says, wow.
Yeah.
And he heard earlier other thing he says, he says preach,
Yeah.
It's tough because so much time sacrifice you put into this sport. The money, the time, everything else, physical, mental. There's a lot to this sport that people.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place, and even with women, and I know this probably happens with men as well. You have 2 sets of clothes you wear in your closet for every season in the year, because there's your skinny set of clothes, and then there's your big body gaining set of clothes that you have. Because like right now, I'm going through it where I don't fit into small and medium shirts anymore. I have to wear larges. I'm gonna run and get my dog in 1 second.
And she has to wear extra mediums too. So yeah, but yeah, there's so much to this. The process of a bodybuilder, of training. Even though she's in a division that's more closer to a little closer to bikini, but still it's borderlines. It straddles that between bikini and physique. Figure's been seen as a transition division for quite a long time. People like Natalie Coelho, she earned her pro card as a figure competitor, but eventually went up to physique. Shanique Grant, she was figure, but went up to physique. And it takes a lot, to build your body and to grow. We got here, this is from my man, KL the Wanderer, good Hey, good afternoon. Shout out to KL. He does content on ladies too, also. And the tough part that this sport is you have to really love it. Because, like I said, you mostly you got to think about. I said again, the cost of the suit, travel, food, this, calling your coaches, your trainers. You know, there's so much to this, and you have to love this sport because you can't just do it in the aspect that okay, I'm gonna make a lot of money, and you have sponsorship, and that helps you along the way because
You have to ask your price too. As an athlete, it's commonly said in every sport or everywhere, a closed mouth don't get fed. And I, with Line One, I remained with the company for a while. They had other females in the company that caused drama, and they were, of course, let go at that point. But once I became a pro athlete, it was more or less, my thing was, hey, I've been with the company for like 3 years now through COVID and everything. And I still advertised, still tagged, shared, all that. What's the word, Dean? He was like, let me send you a contract, see what you think about it. I said, okay. And that's how that went. Even now, I am in the process of trying to become a sponsored athlete or at least an ambassador with Bikini Lab Hawaii. That is my very good friend, very best friend, literally. You know, her business with her co-owner Trish. We're all friends, and she put up a post today about sponsorship and ambassadors because going into the 2024 season, friends or not, I'm still putting my hat, my name in the hat because I love her work, I love her aesthetic, I love what she's going for, I love the direction, um, and how we support one another's even in the kind of Bikini Lab Hawaii community, and that's a set of family, people I call family. For me, more or less, I guess I'm kind of a loner because I was the only child, but I also take friends along the way that stay with me. Like my best friend that I went to see for New Year's, we've been best friends for over 15 years. And there
Mhm.
were times and periods where we didn't talk for like 6 months at a time because we were both Tauruses and we just knuckle heads, but who cares? That happens in friendships. Um, but if you don't ask, you won't know.
Yeah, well, I'm a Scorpio, so that's it. We have a tick attack with nature, and we often see it's crazy. And yeah, I heard Key laugh because they are the ones who also. I mean, one year that Jake Wood, I got to shout his name for you. Yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. Every time I say his name, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I don't know a lot of guys named Jake. I have to do it. It's just me. But yeah, it's good that sponsorship because they did have Wingsor had their sponsorship program, and that's gone, and it's tough because that those that little bit of can help you along the way. It cuts off some costs or something because most of the time you're competing more or less in the red than in the black. We got here this is from man KL. He says, like, she has a beautiful smile.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's KL. Yeah. He also says, like, she's bikini.
Yeah.
No, KL. She was, but she's in figure. And here he questions, why they call you the Savage Barbie? You're killing the game. So,
Oh, I'll revisit. They call me Savage Barbie because all the makeup and lashes usually don't be in the gym. Like, I don't care. I'll wear a beanie and no wig and don't give two fucks about screaming rack pulling 405 from below the knee, well below the knee. I don't care. And I pull it for 10, not just for one. Um, or I'm doing a leg press with 9 plates on each side. Don't really care. Usually doing that for 20. You can scroll back. It's in the Instagram. I have receipts, as they say nowadays. I have
so
receipts.
one thing is like, okay, what's your favorite exercise and least favorite exercises you're working out?
Favorite exercise is probably gonna be rack pulls. I love that to death. Mainly because my glutes and my hamstrings love that. Also sissy squats. Or yeah, that's about it. The one I hate the most, hate is a really strong word.
Say just slight
Um,
or disdained. I got her the
I
quarantine.
have a disdain for calf raises.
Uh,
I don't have calves, and it don't
mm,
matter. My coach has me doing like 200 a day. And my coach is from Forest Steel Fitness, Coach Pat.
shout out to
So
Coach Pat.
yep, love Coach Pat. He has me doing 200 calf raises with weights, and I'm like,
Yeah. And one thing is we talk
those
about we say about the sponsorship. A lot of ladies in this, especially in the bodybuilding world, there is a fetish, particularly as I call them, and I'm going to admit it here. You guys know I'm a muscle purse smoke, and and there is a fetish about you ladies, especially
yes,
I think a little bit more for. I think I know one channel I follow, a female bodybuilding channel, and most of this fetish is really more towards the women on the higher end, women's bodybuilding, women's physique. I think there's still guys who do like women bikini because the fact is it's the stereotypical idea of what we see of femininity.
yes,
Wellness is getting popular because it has that combination of both a little bit of one and a little bit of the other. And I know a lot of ladies what they do to circumvent to make money in between shows like that, as I call them, the beat the meat websites. That's what they are. Come on, guys, we go on there. We're not there just to look at the ladies. We're like, we're doing something. You
yeah.
got tissue right there, and you got your lotion over here. But if there was a way, if you could think of, if there was a way where which there was a way so you ladies can, all not you ladies, but all your competitors can have a little profit, for yourself, even though you don't like. You think about it, okay, like like the Olympia, like the top winner, he walks away with nearly about almost $1 million,
Yeah.
and the guy who takes, I know this guy, Samson Dua, who I do a live stream. Me and my partner Big Key, we talk about him a few times. He can make get more prize money than the champion Andrea Shaw
Hmm.
and Sarah Vilgas and a couple of others.
Hmm.
And one thing also, I think that she more. I remember I was listening to you in your interview how you said there need to be more like EMS, a little bit more assistance because
Hmm.
we know what that long ago we had a bunch of deaths back to
Hmm.
back, like it. And I think there should be more taken care of the athletes because you know what, we don't come to see Talman, you don't come to see Sandy Williamson, you don't come to see Steve Winston, we don't come to see Bob Chickarella, we don't come to
No.
see any of the promoters. We come to see you competitors, and I think there should be more, you know, like especially you pay a pro card every year. That's like $300
Oh
a
yeah.
year you're paying out of your pocket. It should be like benefits to you, especially you being a military person. You still
Well,
get
the
benefits.
benefit of it is you have to take advantage of the opportunities that are afforded to you. Now, what do most do? They get an ASM or ISA certificate and go through the training to become a trainer, and they go training people. That's cute, but somebody helped you get your pro card. Go do a lot more research for it before you do that and actually study into the sport and dive into it. I used to go sit in sessions where Ray Baker is sitting there having a Sunday session with the open session with everybody there and how he's instructing males and females. Because there have been some of my male friends that are pros and some of them that are not pro that I have posed. I'm not going to name any names. I just have posed them, you know? Or just say, hey, can you look me over real quick? Because that's usually what it is. It's one of them, can you look me over after your workout, whatever type? Yeah, sure. I got you. I'm look, it ain't nothing to me, but I do tediously watch the sport. I sit and order some at half of the live streams to half of these shows and watch what the judges are taking as criteria. Like the male, like the whole thing of Olympia, it was on my 70-inch screen. We were sitting back, kick back, drinking and eating food, watching the whole Olympia all day long. And even now, my boyfriend has gotten a very good feeling about watching this because it encourages him. Because he's a brewer, so he's a beer guy, and he's like, I done got this little beer gut, and I don't like it no more. He's like, I'm gonna need to fit into my, uniform, maybe, if somewhere down the line he proposes to me. Um, so it's like a thing with him that he likes the sport and has dived in with me, which is usually the one thing as a bodybuilder we experience the most. You know, you don't have a supportive safety net that's along with you for the ride. Like they may say, "Oh yeah, I support you," but are you really diving in? Eating habits, being encouraging, and those nights where I've had times where I was standing in front of the stove and I had tears run down on my face because I just got this food out the microwave and I didn't want to eat it no more. But I'm 3 days out from my show. I wanted to give up. And with that, I had a supportive partner. But back to the thing of like when men and women, they haven't dove into the sport. Like the easiest thing is to become a trainer, start training people. Of course, yeah, great. But there's some of my friends who have had me on FaceTime just to encourage them during their workout or through Instagram or video chatting just to keep them going through their workout and saying, hey, what do you see? What am I not engaging? Just to be that kind of second on, hands on. That's where I started at. It's just basically within my humility of knowing I don't know everything, but I know some stuff, you know. And I'm not going to ever want to be like, oh, I know everything. No, I don't, because there's always more to learn. And that's where I think people get stuck within the sport because they think they know everything. Because, oh, I done been around this big name person or that big name person. Okay, well, what about these other people? Because they're not coached by the big name person. They probably helped in their assistance too. So most people don't do their research. They don't put their name out there. They don't, like myself, even I've gotten told by one of my friends who does social media really well. She's like, hey, you need to be more interactive with your crowd. So that's one thing that I'm taking into 2024 and this time that I have off because of my back surgery to go ahead and dive into and be more interactive with my viewers so that they can understand even if you do have to take time off, you can always come back because that's gonna be that's my whole goal this year. But most people don't do research within the sport. They just want to watch what's on the phone, and it's like, look at interviews, check out people. Hell, send them a message and ask them questions. I guarantee you'll probably get most of the truth out of them. Without throwing shade on somebody else.
Yeah, it's like quote from one of my favorite movies. That's from Batman Begins. Liam Neeson as Harry the Cop, aka Ra's al Ghul, said to Bruce Wayne, "Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Never give a sure footing for a killing below." And that's the thing is you have to be aware of what you get into. We're here for Man Panther 7 coming through. He says, "What up, George? Lovely, Ari and chat. Hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, Panther 7. And yeah, this is you have to really love this sport to get into it. You
Yeah.
have to have to understand it because not just you just don't have to also trust the process. I remember one time I was doing an interview with one lady. She's an amateur. We said that you have to understand the process, what goes into being a bodybuilder, and the sacrifice, the time. I remember sometimes I have conversations with ladies I'm comfortable with. We just talk on the phone and just talk about stuff and just maybe making, if so often I might say something to give them a little encouragement. Because you know
Mhm.
what? This can be, like I said again, a mentally driven sport. It's not like any other sport in the
You
world.
know, it's
You
not.
know, it's like you played football,
It's
I played
mentally
football.
draining because you have to sometimes in some parts, depending upon where you are, there are not a lot of gyms. You have to walk into a gym, or you have to go like destination where a gym that gives you actual motivation. Where you got to walk in a gym and the person across the gym or in the mirror with you at the dumbbell rack is somebody that's about to be against you on stage.
Mm,
So how are you supposed to mentally get your mindset together before you turn around and go on stage?
mhm.
I remember for me, it was like I'm in the gym working around Olympians, and I'm like, Sean Clarita, Keon, they over there grunting. Here goes the rest of them. Then I got Trish Warren. Then I got this person, that person. And I'm like, you ain't about to come in the room and just be lifting some light ass weight. You gonna take your ass on to like Lifetime or something. No offense to Lifetime, but you gonna just take your ass on there because you're not the fittest one in the room. And I had this happen with one of my friends. He is from California. He was priorly a tank chief and he was in the army. He came from California to come out work out here with me and a couple other people, another one of which was also an IFBB pro. And he said, "Oh, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna take my shirt off. Bop, bop, whoop, whoop." It was right before Olympia, so you can imagine how many. It was like 2 weeks before Olympia, so all them people just fresh in the damn gym ripped. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. You thinking to come? He came in there and he said, "I'm gonna keep my shirt on." I said, "Okay, no." I said, "No, nigga." Take the shit off. Take it off. Take it off. Wasn't that the shit you talking? You talking all that shit outside? Take the shit off. Bro. That's not what we playing. Come on, take it off.
Sound like he was like the first time in prison, like fresh
Like
meat.
he's not fat, but he was your average ripped, African American. He got abs, he got some chest, but he's soft. He like on the off season soft.
Soft.
He came in there. That's my Philly accent coming out. He came in there, and next thing I know, I'm doing pull-ups, and he looked at one of my friends who's an Olympian, Divine Wilson, and he looked at him. He said, "He is big as shit." I said, "He's from Baltimore." I said, "He recently moved down here." I said, "I know him too," and he was like, "What?" I said,